Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the round 13 game preview. It is the Carlton Blues against the scum of the earth. Now, my name is Amal, and joining me, I have George.
Gentlemen.
Carl. Andy.
What's up, boys?
Otherwise known as Lashes, and Mus,
Yeah.
who is now Mr. Kathmandu after Melbourne versus Carlton.
I thought I'd better put it on, mate. You got a bit of negative about that one, negativity about that one, so I thought I'd represent it.
Now, let's go into the teams. We'll start with the outs for Carlton. And Carl, I know you're a bit upset about these two outs, but Lockie O'Brien and Zach Fisher have been omitted from the team. What do we think about that, gentlemen?
Yeah, look, I'll be the first to say that. Going to be a sleepless night tonight. I'm so upset about that one, boys. I don't know how you feel about it. But, yeah, I'm just going to have to push through, to be honest. Push through.
I'm actually surprised Fisher was omitted. I thought he was okay last week. I hope he's sub. I actually hope we choose him as sub. But, I mean, knowing Carlton, it'll probably be Ed Kerner. So...
No, it's actually not going to be Ed Kerner, and I'll tell you why. But before I go into that, what does the Zach Fisher omission say to you about his future at the Carlton Football Club?
He has a good run.
Paper's stamped.
I'm a bit more optimistic. I'm a bit more optimistic. I think he'll get another run, and I actually think he'll get it right this year. Fish. I reckon dropping him for a couple of weeks. I liked what I saw last week from him. So I'm actually genuinely surprised he's been dropped, but I do still genuinely have faith that he will be a sub on Sunday.
Now, let's look at the ins. I'll start from the other side. Mark Pierney. So he's a welcome addition to the team. He's a great ruckman. He's not great at anything else. He's a great tap ruckman though, and we sorely lack that, right? Lockie Cowan's been reintroduced to the team. Lockie Fogarty has been brought back, and I think he's been chomping at the bit to get back into the senior side. Jack Martin, after one VFL game, I think it was, and a club favourite, Ed Kerno. Ed Kerno has been brought back into the team. Now, why he won't be used as a sub is because he's actually been named on the field and not on the interchange bench. So he will be playing. Ed Kerno will be playing, and I think, and let's have a chat about this, but I think he's only being brought on to hard tag merit.
Come on, Amal. You know that contract of Charlie Curnow, Section 4, Clause 3, A, is that Ed has to play, right?
Yes, so I forgot about that. Apologies.
But I think it says a lot about where we are as a club. Ed's in, realistically speaking, I know we spoke about this before. Will he be on the list next year? Probably not. Probably not.
Probably.
He's
We'll probably sign him for 5 years. Give him a 5-year extension at $800,000 a year.
No, we're saving that for TDK. Don't forget that.
I don't know. Lockie O'Brien.
I reckon they've only bringing in Ed Kerner. Honestly, to be fair, Zach Merritt's been playing well this year.
He has.
So the only reason why I think he's coming in is so he gets tagged. Other than that, I wouldn't even let him be peeling oranges on the bench, to be honest.
So is there nobody else we can play as a tagger then? If that's what he's there for, have we got no one else, whether it be in the senior side or our seconds, that can play a hard tag. I mean, it's not hard tagging someone. You literally
Who else is a
sacrifice
tagger?
your game.
Who else
Bro,
is a good
anyone
tagger
can
for
be a
us?
tagger. Anyone.
I,
We
I, I
had.
think Cottrell could do the job.
I
Cottrell
think
could do a
Cottrell could
fantastic
the
job. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't forget when we played Essendon in Bolton's last game, there was that kid from Essendon who did the number on Cripps in his first game, first or second game. Can't
Yeah, I
remember
know
his
what you're
name.
talking about.
Probably
Yeah.
done nothing ever since. But yeah, when we played them in Bolton's last game, I can't believe I called him Essendon. Sorry, the scum. Yeah. So why can't anyone else do it? Why are we still relying on Ed Kerno?
It's got to be that clause that George just points it out.
Yeah.
I don't know it verbatim, but it's got to be that clause.
Yeah, it's either the Charlie clause or Carlton has somehow managed to accept playing Ed Kerner a certain amount of times this year. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, we've got that much young talent in the team that can come in and play whatever role Ed Kerner is going to play. I mean, he's been named as a follower. I'm sure there's other people that can play the following role. I'm sure there's plenty others, but you know, it seriously does not make sense as to why we continue to persist with Ed Kerner. Ed Kerno, right? But let's move along. That decision's been made. We'll have to live with it. It just means more dump kicks, right? That's what he does. When he gets it, there's no thought process behind what he does. It's just a dump kick.
This is the extended squad, yeah? Obviously, because we play on a Sunday. So, I mean, there's a chance that, Fogarty and Kerno might not even play. They could just be listed.
No, Ed Kerno's
on the
named.
Ed Kerno's on. He's playing.
Well,
yeah,
named in the 18.
no, man.
Yeah.
Well, look, if that's the case, and we lose again, then that's another L we're taking at the selection table.
Correct.
It's
So
what
on our interchange bench at the moment, our extended interchange, we've got Lockie Fogarty, Paddy Dow, who deserves another game. He deserves another game. Matty Kennedy, Jesse Motlop, Matty Cottrell, Jack Silvani has been named in the team again. The club is now expecting him to get up after the injury last week. Lockie Cowan and Lewis Young. Right?
I don't think we'll get both Pittonet and Silvani. I reckon one of them's going to fall out, and I think it'll be Silvani.
Yeah, agreed.
We look so much better with TDK in the team, and one other ruck. Not with you can't have all three of them. Sorry, in the team.
You're right. Now, considering that they both had fitness tests today, and Pitney has been named in the 18, there is a very, very good chance that Jack Silvani misses out. From the rest of the interchange bench, I reckon. I don't think Lockie Cowan will make the team.
I don't think Fogarty will make the team.
I'd like to see Fogarty as sub, to be honest.
I think Fogarty would be a good sub.
Yeah, you need a bit of speed.
I love his tackling. He's
been doing decent.
I watched a bit of the VFL actually. He put on a lot of pressure. Did a lot behind the ball as well. So we're lacking that at the moment.
Something we don't do that much of.
You know what? It actually might not be Fogarty that misses out. It might be Jesse Motlop who misses out, because he hasn't been too crash hot in the last couple of weeks.
I'd be very surprised if they drop Jesse. I think he should have been dropped a month ago, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
I think an underdone Jack Martin. This might be a bit of a controversial call because we've seen him once this year, but I actually think an underdone Jack Martin gives you more than what Jesse does. Controversial, but 100%. Jack gives you a goal, so he gives you those important marks on the half forward flank, some link up play when he's playing, right? So again, they found his calf obviously, and 12 weeks later. But I think he gives you more. 1 to 2 weeks in round one. Jesus Christ! I think he gives you more. I think he's a dangerous player on that half forward when he's fit. If he's fit, he's obviously not. He's 100% sharp, but I think he gives you more.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks over Jack Martin's head at the moment, and I really hope that he comes out and has an impact because, to your point, when he's on, he is dangerous, absolutely dangerous. Looking at our backline. Alex Chincotta, Jacob Wiedering, Jordan Boyd in fullback. Halfback, Adam Sard, Mitch McGovern, Bodie Kemp. I got no issues with that backline.
I want to use Saad. Saad
Please.
must be used.
This
Please.
is the game.
I said it in the Melbourne review video. I'll say it again. Use his run. It's what he's there for. He doesn't like. He's not going to win you a game off his back. But right now, we're just not using him at all. It's almost like I feel sorry for the bloke. He's putting himself in solid positions, running past people who've taken a mark, who've got a free kick, 50 out from our own goal. Use him. Use his run to break these lines. Why are we constantly going left and right and 50 metres down the line just to turn it over? Use his run. Let him break the lines.
Mm.
So hopefully we do that. Hopefully.
Yeah. Opposition. To be fair to him, and to the rest of the team, opposition teams have put a lot of time into Saad, and for good reason. He breaks lines and breaks them quite easily. But if Saad is going to be locked down, there's still Mitch McGovern. He's just as quick.
Sorry, bro. I disagree with that. I disagree that Saad, like, what are they doing? Because we're at the games. We see him running. He's always, 10, 15 meters apart from his direct opponent. He can make that 15 into 30 very quickly. But they're just so afraid to just handball.
Yeah.
We're so afraid to handball to the running player. And it's cost us. It has cost us for weeks. And I'm imploring the players, use him. Use his run. Even if it's not him. If someone's running past, just use him. Who cares? You're going to turn it over anyway. Just try it. So I don't know.
You know what's been interesting, just watching back a couple of games, I've noticed, and because to Amal's point in terms of teams putting a little bit of added pressure or maybe running closer to him, and he's still making the runs. He's still making those runs, but I've noticed he's making the runs on his non-preferred. So he's running to the right of the player.
Mhm.
So it's on his non-preferred side. I still back him. I still back him to get that extra 10, 15 meters. Give it a crack. So
Yeah.
I just noticed that because they're making that run on his preferred side, he's having to go a lot on the opposite, and that's maybe why the players are hesitating potentially. I just noticed that just from watching a few games back, but I still back him.
Yeah. Our centre line: Sam Walsh, Paddy Cripps, Blake Acres, and our followers: Mark Pitonnet, Adam Chera, and Ed Curnow. Now,
What?
Acres had a better game last week.
Did you say Ed Kerno?
Ed Curnow
In the midfield.
in the midfield. Yes.
Nice.
Tell us what you really feel.
Why? Why? Literally,
Look,
why?
I'd be very surprised if that does happen. I guess, that's the list they've provided thus far, but I can't see him starting in the middle of the ground on the MCG on that Sunday evening.
Well, if
Okay.
he's there to tag Merritt, then yeah, he will.
He'll be there.
He'll be there.
He'll be there, and you'll like it.
Look, I wish him well. I hope he tags the crap out of Merritt, because otherwise, all of the Carlton supporter base is going to jump on him and the selection committee for picking Curnow again.
Yeah.
Forward line: Jack Martin, Charlie Curnow, Sam Doherty in the half forward, Matty Owies, Harry Mackay, and Tom De Koning in full forward. Now, obviously, we know that there's a good chance that they won't start in these positions. Tom De Koning will probably share the ruck duties with Mark Pickney, so they'll probably, chop and change in between each other. But what do you guys think about Sam Doherty in our half forward line?
It's happened a couple times this year. It's not the first.
It's not the first. You're right. Do you think it's paid off?
Probably not.
Where are we on the ladder?
Yeah, there you go. It hasn't.
Fair point.
Off halfback.
When did that happen? When did we stop using Doc as our general in defence? And why?
Yeah, I'd much prefer to see him in that back line, other than take out your Boyd or one of those sort of less experienced players. But
I noticed that Doherty goes half forward when Fisher gets dropped.
Yeah, right.
Good
It's
call.
happened a few times, yeah.
And a bit of a defensive role.
Yeah, I think if if you look at the back line at the moment, the only person that you would look to replace Doherty with, or put Doherty back in the back line for, would be Jordan Boyd.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then maybe swap Doherty and Brody Kemp, because other than that back line is rock solid. Absolutely rock solid. I'm not a big fan of Sam Doherty at half forward. Voss talks a lot about team balance and all of that kind of stuff. Doherty has played off half back for the majority of his time at Carlton. Why now, when the season is on the line, do you want to, test Doherty out on the half forward line? I'm not a big fan of that.
I'm not a big fan of a lot right now.
It's a big game, boys. And if there's anyone that I want to beat, anyone, it is the scum. It is the filth that is Essendon. We have to beat these guys.
That
We
word
have to.
gives me just really bad, horrid feelings.
Yeah.
Makes me like just get puke in my throat.
Oh my God, no.
Now, Essendon are going to be without Dylan Shield. And I believe Setterfield is out of their midfield as well. So their midfield, Parrish is not playing either. So they've got a bit of a makeshift midfield. They have Nick Martin, Zach Merritt, Dyson Heppel in the centre line, and their followers are Sam Draper, Ben Hobbs, and Jai Caldwell. Now, on paper, our midfield should roll them. And from memory and from past performances, when our midfield get on top, we usually win the game. Now, paper and real life are obviously two different things, especially when it comes to Carlton. Do you guys think that we have the power and the capability to roll Essendon's midfield come Sunday?
You have to.
Should. Yeah.
Oh, no doubt, we have to. If we're going to win, it has to be from there.
If we're a serious club, like if we, I laughed saying that. So, but legitimately,
Best
you
joke I've
said
heard in a long time.
Setters is your big-bodied ball winner. He's done well for Essendon. I'd like to say good on him, but not for them, not for those pricks. Shields out. You're running power. Parrish is out. You racks them up. So if you're Walsh, if you're Chera, if you're Cripps, you should be feeling good. You should be feeling like this is my week. This is our week to stamp the authority. I'm not going to count West Coast, but with a depleted midfield like this, we haven't come up against a depleted midfield like this. So you have to make it count, right? If they're winning out of the middle this week, something's seriously wrong.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and especially now that
based on form, they're going to smash us out of the middle. You could, I've got very little faith that the boys will get up, to be honest.
rough. It's
I
rough.
hope they do.
No,
I hope they
no,
do.
they
I
will.
hope we come
They
out.
will.
Cripps gets 40, Walsh gets 45 and actually hits targets. Who knows, bro? But
I have a.
Like you said, Amar, on paper, are we being biased? Are we talking your Cripps and our players and Cheras, and are we just biased? We're just true blue Carlton supporters. We don't see anything else, and we're like, yep, Essendon scum, they're no good. But if you go on form, like you said, Andy, you got Merritt, you got Caldwell, who's racked up I think 30 touches last week. Massive. I don't know.
it's not going to be easy out of the middle, regardless of
They
literally
just
regardless
play
of
high
who we're
pressure.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to Yeah, I'm the wrong person to talk. Last week I was Captain Optimist, but this week I'm just Captain Pessimist. We are going to get flogged.
I don't think. Look, definitely, they've had to dig deep with their midfield, guaranteed, absolutely. They're missing some big names, but they're not very. They're good midfielders. they'll get the job done.
100%.
We can't go in there going, yeah, we're superstars and we've got Cripps and we've got this and we've got that. Look at our form. They're the ones coming into this going, we're a young side, but we're playing as a team. We'll roll these guys. They're the ones coming in full of confidence, not us.
They'll be licking their lips. Any team would be
Absolutely.
licking their lips playing us at the moment.
Absolutely.
It's all. I think it's all between the ears, right? It's mentality. Like you look at the young Kangas midfield against them, and you had Sheasel and Wardlaw and a few of them combining, and they really took it to them, right? So not just saying that, ability and reputation, this and that. It's the willingness, the mentality. So it depends which side turns up this week for us, but we'll get to that in the predictions.
We also got to get a hold of Draper, to be honest, because he can run amok.
Yeah, he gets on the scoreboard as well. He
Yeah.
can kick a few goals.
Yeah.
He will throw TDK around.
You reckon?
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
It has to be TDK, though, because Pirinei is not going to be able to do anything with Draper.
He's not going to be able to keep up.
No.
He lumbers. After he does his job in the ruck, that's it. He's slow motion after that.
See you later.
It's definitely
What do we
slow
think
motion
about
after that.
2 meter Peter? Will get up or not? He was listed as 1 to 2 weeks earlier in the week, and he's been named.
No, he played.
Yeah, then made it. Is he in the 18? Let me have a quick look.
Yeah,
Because he's pretty important to their team.
Oh, I don't know about the 18, but
They always manage to come back when it's against us, don't they?
Let's have a quick
No,
look.
they're definitely still probably putting something in the water, aren't they?
Yeah, Peter Wright's playing. He's
Yeah,
named
there you
in the
go.
full forward. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I think. Look, I have full confidence in our defense. It's a pretty strong defense. I think the likes of Wiedering, Young, Chincotta, McGovern. There's enough tall stocks there to be able to look. And Peter Wright's 2 meters tall. He's massive. But we should be able to minimize his damage. He'll still do damage for sure. We're not going to be able to stop every single ball that comes towards him, but he won't be as damaging as what I think everyone thinks he will be. But let's see. Let's go around the now. Before we go around and get some predictions, it's been a big week for the Carlton Football Club. Once again, off the back of a shit performance against the D's. There's been a lot of questions asked. Rumours have started circulating and swirling. Sam McClure came out and dropped some bombshells on Footy Classified. A lot has happened.
can I say something about the Sam McClure thing? This bloke has come out and said there's, dramas or whatever. I'm not going to name names. I can't name names. I'm not going to reveal my source. I'm not going to... This bloke, honestly, it sounds like he just jumped on Big Footy and read something and has just gone with it. It's like, mate, if you're going to go as far as to say that this is happening, drop names. If you've got the scoop, drop the names. People like that, I don't know, man, little grubs.
It's annoying as well because it's a Carlton supporter.
Regardless, bro, because all reporters are like that. They're all little weasels, man. I look at them and I'm just like, bro, if you're going to come out with something like that's pretty damaging to a football club that's already going through it. And I don't know, I just don't like it. If you're going to come out with that, drop some names, have some balls, drop some names.
He wants a headline.
Yeah, he's a weak dog, bro. They're all weak
Yeah,
dogs. All those little journalists, they're all weak dogs.
He's come out and said, or can't name names. It would burn, the relationship, and it would reveal my source and whatnot. And it's interesting, a couple of years ago, if you recall, there was rumours about, leaks within the club, and sayers coming in and say, we've removed the leaks and the people that used to get information out of the club. So he obviously wants a headline. He's come out and said, I've spoke to opposition who've said they've got no discernible game plan, and the players are upset, and there's fractures within the playing group and whatnot. But yeah, media, when they smell blood, and especially when it's Carlton, they're like flies to shit.
But I don't think he's ever come out with a story and it's been true. He's never got an actual story to the story he's trying to make.
The only one that I'll say is true is the discernible game plan. There is no discernible. I don't think he spoke to anyone It's just obvious to see that we don't have a
Yeah.
game plan.
Stevie Wonder could
Agreed.
tell you that. Let's be real.
Just looking for a headline and just being Captain Obvious, just stating it as it is and sort of blowing it up a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Geez, I hope, the week before, Harry Mackay came out and was vulnerable about his goal kicking, and it seemed to have a positive impact on, his performance against the D's. He kicked 3 and 2? 3 and 2. He kicked 2 snaps, a sort of a long bomb outside of 50 on the run, which was good, and then maybe he found the yips again, I don't know. But he decided to snap it from 40 out on not much of an angle. But again, he came out, put himself in front of the media, put himself out there, and put in a good performance, I thought. I really hope that this sort of, rumor mongering that has come out in the media this week G's up the players. Because they're lacking it, man. They're lacking it. It doesn't look like they come out with any sort of fire in their belly. And if there's any week that I want them to come out with that fire in their belly, it's this week. It's this week, please. Like, I'm sick. I have the flu or cold or COVID-22 or whatever it is. But I'm still going to be there at the MCG Sunday night to come and watch you guys play footy and hopefully win against the scum, the filth, right? Put in a freaking good performance, please, for the love of God.
Can you believe we're in this position at this time of the year?
No.
From
I don't
the
think anyone can.
optimism we had all preseason, and now we're just hoping to win.
Confidence.
Like, we just really want to win this one game.
Every supporter in the preseason was saying, yeah, top four, worst top 6. And the first 3 or 4 games of the season went and we were 3 wins, 1 draw. We thought, yeah, we're getting lucky with the wins here. But something will click over the next few weeks and we'll start to play the type of footy that we wanted. And it just never happened.
It clicked the wrong way.
It never, ever happened. And, I mentioned it in the Carlton Melbourne review. Boy, how the conversation has changed with Carlton supporters. And I would say that I would be satisfied even if we didn't make finals as long as we beat Essendon.
Nah, man. This doesn't even if we win, I'm so disappointed by this season. Like, all right, yeah, we beat Essendon, but all it's gonna do is maybe stop the banter coming in from the Essendon supporters we're friends with. But well, what does it actually mean? That's where we're at. This is the reality. What does it actually mean? If we don't back it up the next game, I said, I'm Captain Pessimist tonight. I'm not happy at all.
It's just been a downward spiral, and I'm just sort of been waiting for that click, and I'm sort of going, well, okay, optimistic this week. Let's tip them. I reckon a couple new wins, and this is the week. They're going to come out with fire in the belly. They're going to come out. They're going to have belief. They're going to play for one another. They're going to get behind each other. They're going to get the hard ball. They're going to run. They're going to carry. They're going to hit targets, and the boys are going to finish. But it continues to spiral. I hope it's this week. I really do. But something's going to break and something's got to give if it's not this week, and then maybe the following week and the week after. But I can guarantee you this, something will give, and it'll probably be Voss's head that'll go.
That was great.
Speaking of banter that's coming through from the Essendon supporters, a lot of them are on sides back at the moment, saying that you left Essendon for to join Carlton in a push for finals. Where's the finals? Because let's be honest, Essendon are in the 8 at the moment. We're not. We're nowhere near it. We're 2 and a bit games out. Saad, if you've heard it and you're listening to this,
Win.
Please. Force them to handball it to you. Force them to give the ball to you.
I really hope he
Um,
silences them this week, honestly, because they'll be on his back. They'll be on. They have been all year, especially this year. I
mm,
really hope he silences them. Look, I'm thinking a little bit more positively. I'm really hoping that this year's that sort of that blip in, you know, speed hump that Melbourne copped a few years ago, Richmond copped a year or two before the 2017. Obviously Voss 30, 35 games in and whatnot, but I'm just hoping that it's a blip. I'll share something with you guys that I was just looking at the other day. We always talk about our top heavy players and how we've got so many players on X amount of money, and we're very top heavy. But I'm going to read you some names. I'll read you some names here because it's as the year's gone on, and I'm just looking at our list and where we're at as a club and thinking, okay, there's opportunity for change in the year. I'm going to read some names: Lockie Plowman, Sam Philp, Honey, Fogarty, Jack Martin, Cunningham, Sam Durden, Lockie O'Brien, Ed Kerno, Mitch McGovern, Cottrell, Fisher, contentious one, and Jack Silvani and Marchbank. Now, did any of you bat an eyelid there? Because when I read out those, 13, 14 names there in our, D to C grade sort of players, these are all players that are not going to really win your premierships, take you into finals, be part of a really successful list. That's scary. Like,
Apart from a couple of those guys, you're absolutely right.
You talk about your role players and your players that do a job for you consistently. Like, I was going through the list, you got your McKays, your Walshes, your Wiederings, whatnot. But reading through that, when I saw our list and thinking, when there was rumours about a potential clear out and there's the team's divided and whatnot, and I looked at the list and I thought, you know what, if any of these players want to leave and we get reasonable compensation, let them go.
yeah, off you go.
It's pretty disrespectful to O'Brien there, Joe.
I think Amal put it very sweetly last week. So,
I'll watch you out.
but I looked at these players who have had opportunities at AFL level. I didn't include your Jack Carrolls and Philp is a bit hard done by because he's injured and whatnot. But
Did you say Marchbank?
I said Marchbank. I like when he comes in, but he's been in for a long time.
Yeah.
It's these sort of senior players that haven't made that consistent impact and poor leadership. We said it last week, across the ground, poor leadership on every line. That's cost us. So yeah, it's enough of the tail wagging the dog, right? Like, we've been that club for too long. The players, this playing group, tail wags the dog for too long. So I think end of this year there's going to, and I think Andy mentioned a couple of weeks ago, there's going to be some very big calls.
Yeah, it's a good pickup, George. I think the only one there, probably O'Brien, is a good role player. Just run and kick on the full. Other than that, out of that mix, there's not many role players there.
No, and you know what? Without the club looking at targeting a specific type of player, I think if anything, they need to target leaders, natural leaders. Our backline has leaders in Jacob Wiedering, right? Our midfield has plenty of them in Paddy Cripps and Walsh and whatnot. You got Doherty in the backline as well. But our forward line, can you name me one leader? They run around in the forward line like headless chooks. They have no idea what they're doing.
Sometimes it doesn't even look like the smalls are out there.
The smalls don't know where they belong.
Mm.
That's the issue.
I feel like we need a mature aged key forward
exactly
up there,
what it is.
because they're basically kids that are just lost.
Correct. How old is Mackay? 24? 25?
25, yeah.
Yeah. How old is Kerno? 26?
Yeah,
25? 26? Yeah. Still quite young. Motlop, Owies, and what is it, Durden? I think they're still 15 or 16. They're quite young. They're quite young. We need someone that can come in, and I was a little upset when you saw the likes of Gunston leave Hawthorn and go up to Brisbane, and who were some of the other ones, like when Carlton was in the shit, Luke
Hodge.
Hodge went up to Brisbane.
Mitchell.
All these senior players from
A good club.
from good clubs, premiership winning clubs that were Hawthorn.
Yep.
So many of their premiership players went off and played leadership type roles, on-field leadership type roles, and it did a world of good for those teams. Look at where Brisbane is off the back of Luke Hodge and Jack Gunston. They're pushing for premierships. I think at that time, West Coast off the back of, what is it, Mitchell going across to the West Coast Eagles. They won the premiership in 2016. It would have been a little before that, but it makes a world of a difference. Who have we brought in that's been able to provide that on-field leadership? Absolutely no one.
But is that a development thing, Amal? George, you touched on those 10, 15 players. Are they where they are because we haven't nurtured and guided and developed them into the right role that suits them
100%.
within the team?
100%.
And then when we work out,
100%.
then when we work out they're not fit for purpose in that role, then we move them on. Otherwise, what Carlton does is it just have them lingering in the background, doing nothing. Bring him in
Forever.
for a game, kick on the full, out for 5 games. Bring him in
Mhm.
again, same thing.
Carlton development special, right there.
Well, we because we're so top heavy, I think there's probably half a dozen to a dozen probably players that they feel like they probably can't drop, right? So they're gonna, the selection integrity goes out the window there. You have decisions that still baffle me that have been made over the last couple of years, and you talk about rewarding consistent form and whatnot, and then when they do come in, and I hate to bring it up again, but Dow this week, right? So let's wait and see for the extended bench and the sub and whatnot. But don't bring a player in for a week, drop him the next and whatnot. If you're bringing a player in to say to play for his career, give him a crack, give him a run of games, right? So okay, now the test, obviously, understandably, we've got injuries. So Fogarty's in if he gets named and whatnot, and Dow's in and whatnot. Are they going to get a run of games? Are they going to have an opportunity to salvage their career?
Probably.
And
That's
that's
the key.
what you mentioned was they're not getting, like, Carroll, these blokes are not getting the games, and obviously there's things inside the club and training and behaviour and all that kind of stuff that we don't know and hear about. But when you are giving the players a crack, to see them just go back in the VFL a week after, it's a bit disheartening for us. Imagine for them.
As a club, Carlton need to work out and sit down and go, you're our starting 18, you're our best 18. Where is our depth? Where's our contingency? Where do we need you? Do you fit into this team? Great. Yes, we develop. If not, we move on.
Yep.
Don't know.
Oh man, I hope we win. Predictions, George.
I feel good. I hate to say this, guys. As it gets later in the week, I always start to feel good, and I hate myself for it. But in all honesty, and you can quote me on this, I feel good. I think this is the week, boys, that we kick more than an Oz kick score. I think this is the week that we actually utilize our forward line, kick more than an Oz kick score. I just hope, we're there every week, and I hope that this is the week. I say a relaxing, night at the footy, because it's never the case, right? Because we don't play 4 consistent quarters. But I'm sick of my smartwatch telling me to breathe because my heart rate's at 140 beats per minute. So I just want a nice evening at the footy where we can get a solid win. And I think, honestly, after the week that we've had, if you're Brad Scott, there's no more motivation to tell Essendon players, hey, this is the chance to put the nail in the coffin of these guys. But I really hope that we utilise all the crap that's come in, and silence the doubters. And I actually feel, in all honesty, that we're going to win. And I'm not going to say comfortably, but I'm going to say that we're going to win by a few goals. I'm calling it. Quote me on it.
Wow. So George, Carlton by a few goals.
Yep.
Best on ground?
Best on ground, Sam Walsh.
Oui.
I think he's going to run amok.
Leading goal kicker.
Leading goal kicker, I'm going to go with Charlie. I think he's. You know what? I want. You know what I'd love? An old-fashioned shootout, because we always used to have you remember the Fev versus Lloyd days, when it was just a good old-fashioned shootout. Fev would get 7, Lloyd would get 6, Scott Lucas would get 5. I'd love that, because I think if it's a shootout, we've got more firepower. Well, we haven't shown that this year, but I'd love that,
On-
but I'm calling Walsh BOG, and I'm calling Kerno with 4.
On paper, we have more firepower.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that old weapons of mass destruction. We were just waiting to use them.
Yeah, the gun's jammed.
Carl, what's your prediction?
I'm not as optimistic as George. Look, I'm hopeful. I think we're going to lose in a tight one, to be honest. I don't want to say it, but based on what's going on and what's happening, I can't see us winning. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, I think we're going to lose in a tight one.
Best on ground.
Chera.
Chera has been good lately.
Chera.
He's been able to string a few good games together.
Yeah.
Leading goal kicker.
Harry McKay.
Oof. I hope so.
I reckon he'll kick 4 or 5.
I hope so. Mus.
I jumped off the downward spiral last week. I was optimistic. I was thinking there was a week we were going to come out. But yeah, it just didn't happen. Let's jump off again and go, it's against the scum, so I reckon the boys are going to show up, I hope. But I'm hoping that the players that are not the big names stand up and make a difference, because I think those guys, your McGoverns and your Fogartys, if they get a go, if they can put in, some hard yard and get the hard ball, I think we'll look like a better outfit.
Best on ground.
Again, I'm going to go left field. I'm going to go those two. I'm going to go McGovern. He's going to lots of intercept marks, a lot of handballs to Sard. Sard's going to run off. They're going to link up, and Mackay's going to kick a bag.
Okay. Andy.
Captain Pessimist, bro. I reckon the scum get up. I reckon they won't score much. We won't score much. It'll be 50 to 70, something like that. But I think Sard will be our best. If we get up, it'll be Sard. And I reckon goal kicker, yeah, Charlie. If we win, Charlie.
Okay.
But I don't think we will score more than 50 or so.
Yep. See, me on the other hand, I like to go through the same loop over and over again as a Carlton supporter. I find a lot of joy in that. So, like George, I'm optimistic. I feel like we're going to get up, and this is the week. This is the week where not only are we going to get up, we need to get up. Right? We need to win. It's going to keep our season alive, and we need to go into Gold Coast with some sort of confidence. Because if we don't, they'll thump us. Right? This is a massive, massive danger game. Best on ground. Ooh. Ed Kerno. He's gonna.
Could you imagine? 35 touches, hard tag.
2 goals, 9 tackles, all of them Zach
6 out of
Merritt.
bounds.
No, I reckon it's either going to be out of Sam Walsh or Paddy Cripps. I reckon Paddy Cripps is going to thunder his way through the midfield, or Sam Walsh, because Sam Walsh needs a big game just to sort of boost his own confidence. He looks way off it at the moment, and this could be the game where he sort of springs back to life, hopefully. Leading goal kicker, it has to be out of one of Mackay or Kerno, but this might be a day for the small forwards, maybe. And with Jack Martin coming in, massive left field choice, but I'm going to go Jack Martin as leading goal kicker. I would love to see him come in one game in the VFL, straight back into the senior side, and absolutely put a show on. Absolutely put a show on. But let's see.
Just on Jack Martin, I reckon he'll be subbed out by quarter time. Looking for his calf.
Oh no. 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah. Exactly.
1 to 2 weeks until
Seriously
2024.
though, 1 to 2 weeks after round 1. What are we now? Round 13?
Round 13.
Jesus.
They're slightly off.
Imagine you're that doctor. Hey, mate, you might be out anywhere between 1 week and 3 months. We don't know where, but yeah.
Oh, it's a bad one. They
Yep.
need to review their doctors, or
Yeah.
whoever Jack Munn has as his doctor. Boys, Sunday night at the G, Carlton versus the Filth.
The scum.
We need to get up.
We bury these pricks. We bury them.
We need to get up. We will get up. We will get up. I reckon it's going to be the return of Carlton this week.
Is
And
it
if
Tom
not,
Morgan?
and if not, we continue entertaining the rest of the AFL since 2002. We continue that merry journey.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're going to get up. We're going to get up against the Filth. Boys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. The review, good or bad, is going to be filmed straight after the game.
Oh,
So
no.
emotions are going to be high either way. And whatever it is, there is no re-record. So make sure you tune in to the Carlton vs Essendon review because it's going to be a hot one.
I'll get the Hennessy ready.
It's going to be a hot one. In-game reactions are going to return this week as well. And just as something a little special for a special occasion in Carlton vs Essendon, we'll try and get out and interview some of the fans this week as well. So if you're going to be at the game, come by around to Gate 4. We'll be standing just outside prior to the game, and maybe at halftime as well. All right. Until Sunday, gentlemen. Sayonara, and thank you for joining the preview.
Catch
See
you
you,
later.
gents.